So a brief history. I'm a physicist, and I did a PhD in 3D imaging and holography. I'm an early user of tech since 1983. Not LaTeX, because LaTeX wasn't around then. This was pre-LaTeX. And I'm the first in University of London. I started the company River Valley in 1988. We got offices in UK, India, and in Europe. I just want to say thanks to my staff. These are my staff, our staff in India, people who work with us. This is the Harvest Festival in Kerala. They collect the flowers of different colors, put them together, and this is the final result. So when they're not doing pagination, this is what they're doing. So I'm sort of, I feel I'm the Steve Jobs of the company. They do all the work, and I take the credit here. But this is a thanks to my guys. They've been, most of those guys I've known for 16 years or more. So once they're with us, they don't leave. These are sort of clients we work with, scholarly publishers. Our business is typesetting or composition of academic books and journals. And for the last 15 years at least, we've been doing true XML first PDF output. I think I'm right in saying we are still the only people who do fully automated XML to PDF, including all the pagination. There is absolutely no, we can delete the PDF and create again from the XML. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. The last 8 years, we've been thinking, this is not the right way to do this. I mean, if you look at the publishing process. So we've been working, instead of being a service provider, we want to allow authors, publishers to do the work themselves and providing a platform. Our philosophy, we want to automate anything that's automatable. Even if we can do something in 5 minutes, if we can automate it and do it with a script and it takes 20 minutes, we automate, because we can use that script in future. So we've got a lot of automation. We use almost entirely free open software. Nothing should ever be typed in twice. If an author has typed their name in, it should not be typed in again. We should not be in business. I said that flippantly about 2-3 years ago. People laughed, and I realized actually there's more truth in it. We don't want to be in this business of cleaning up the mess the publishers send us. We're sort of, I feel we're the janitors of the publishing industry. We want to be in another business, a better business, which I'll tell you about. Workflows, we like to have them simple. I look at some workflows where things go back and forth and up and down, and I get dizzy and I can't work. So what we want, usually our workflows have 2 or 3 boxes, that's all. Why free software? Well, we have no software cost. So if you get new staff, we just buy the computer and we install everything. Lower prices for clients. We can afford to have lower prices, or we make more profit, or the guys can sit around making flowers. We are not dependent on any other company. That's very important for us, including Adobe. We make our PDFs, we write the PDF directly onto this. So if Adobe go belly up tomorrow, they're out of business, we will continue making PDFs according to the PDF specifications, which is open. We can extend the software. If it doesn't have the functionality we need all the time, we are writing, we are extending, adding scripts, plugins, what have you. And we believe we can do things that commercial software can't do. An example is tech. With tech, we can take a JATS file, press a button, and we get PDF out. Tech has the highest typographic control of any system. The only one that gets close is InDesign, which is a great program which I use, great for interactive use. It does have as good in the higher mode typographic quality or paragraph breaking, but that's only because they copied tech's paragraph breaking mechanism. So for anything except highly designed page by page interactive publications, we think that tech is the best pagination engine. It does multilingual footnotes, marginal notes, multiple indexes, what have you. And it allows the creation of what we call enhanced PDFs direct from XML. And I'd like to, at this point, just give you a quick demo of, just show a couple of what we call enhanced PDFs. If I can find them here. Let's see. Okay, so this is a normal PDF, and this is standard PDF specifications, and it's open in standard Adobe Reader, nothing special. Basically, this has come from XML directly. Press of a button. If I roll over any of these references, they pop up, right? It's a JavaScript and layers in PDF. We can have anything pop up. Figure pops up. So you don't have to click and go to that page and come back. Just an example. Another one is we call sticky equations, because they said, publishers said, well, this is great, but our readers say when we roll off, then it's gone. We wanted to say, we said, all right, we can roll on, and it shows you, but if you click it, then it sticks to the page. So you can roll up and down. It's like sticky notes. And these are, again, we just press a button, and it's tech that allows us to do this. We have something called, this is called a self-modifying PDF. Everything you see, that if I keep repeating, we take an XML file, we press the button, and this pops out. This is a PDF which is good for screen, which is what you see. This is bright RGB color. You can, if you want to print on a inkjet printer, which is CMYK, well, you go up here and you get a menu. You say, I want it for a color printer. What it does, it shows you it hides that and shows you the color printer, or black and white. The black and white could be a completely different line art for black and white, okay? So this is all in the same PDF. I'm really just going through this because just to show you what can be done. There are other ones as well. And this is one we use internally just for QC. Automatically takes the black and white and the color figure, superimposes them, and we've got a JavaScript again that flips between these every half a second, so our guys can just sit down and watch this, and you can see that there's a problem here that has to be fixed. So that's the sort of thing that we can produce with, we get with enhanced PDFs. The publication process, authoring, starts with authoring. There's editorial, which is submission and peer review, and there's production, XML, PDF, etc. That's the publication process. The XML PDF must always be equivalent. There must not be any difference between them, difference in content. The problem, what's the problem we have with authoring? You might remember this is Mac Write. I remember well. This is the first word processor on a personal computer. If you look at this, it's not that different to the word processor you use these days. It's a bit ugly because it's low resolution, whatever, very few pixels. But really, it's the same thing. It's a page-based. It was a replacement for a typewriter. The word processor is fine if you just want to print that page and look at it. It's a good product, but it's page-based. And the writer is encouraged to create a nice page. You don't feel like giving a page that looks bad. And there's just too much freedom. Freedom is overrated in this particular case, I feel. The ingredients in a manuscript: title, author, affiliation, abstract, keyword, etc. When the author creates their paper, you can see that's more or less a scholarly paper. All those ingredients are there, but they're sort of mashed together into one page. An analogy is, with the word processor, is if you take all these ingredients on the left, put them onto pages, if you want to read it, you just want to read it, fantastic. It works. The analogy is a food processor instead of a word processor. You take all the fruit, those ingredients, mash it all up, and you drink it. It works. It is a product. Yeah? It's fine. The only problem is when you want to get the fruit back. Yeah? It's not designed for that. That's the problem we have in publishing. So authors are creating manuscripts visually, but the publisher wants the XML, so I want the ingredients back. Good example is references. When authors are writing, they're typically using EndNote, Mendeley, Zotero, which is desktop publishing, reference managers. This is Zotero. If you go to a web page, you click, there's a little icon, you click on that, and it gets all the data and puts it into your desktop application. Everything is there. Everything the publisher needs is there. But of course, the author instructions, of which there are thousands or maybe tens of thousands, all different, says we want the order of the ingredients, year, issue, page, in this way. We want the punctuation here. We want the typeface here, etc. So what happens is the reference managers say, okay, you're sending to the association of this or that. We will create from this, all these ingredients, we'll create that style. So they create the typeface, punctuation, etc., and give it to you. So by this time, the author's really tired, and they think, these publishers, they should do this themselves. But they think that these are helping the publisher. They're completely wrong. They're not helping the publisher at all. Why? When the file goes to the typesetter, people like us, the publisher says we want XML, and they said we want XML first, which is a good requirement. So what we do is we reverse engineer all these references. We get the reference data from Crossref, the DOI, which was there already on the desktop. Then, of course, they say we want the PDF in that style that you saw. So we write a script to get that PDF out. That's how nuts the whole process is. So I forget what I was saying here. Can you read that? I'm going too fast for myself. So follow majority of authors, so build clever word-based macros to extract ingredients. We still have to check after all this. Once you've done that, you can't just publish, right? Someone has to do quality check. And it gets more and more complex. Is there a better way? So let's have a look again. The author. Everything now is attachment-based. The author sends an attachment of something, a Word or PDF, goes to the publisher sends it to peer review, goes back to the publisher, back to the author, comes back to the publisher, comes back to, say, the peer review, copy editor, etc., etc. So this thing is going back and forth, and every time there's some sort of check involved to get this, to make sure it's right. That's a simplified version. I haven't got figures, etc. in there. Wouldn't it be nice if we have XML right in the middle? A lot of what I say is overlaps with my friends from Dartmouth, by the way. It's the same idea. So we have a XML in the center. Wouldn't it be nice if the author writes, and as the author writes, XML is produced when they say save? JATS, say. Publisher gets an email, notification, clicks, sees that XML in a nice, friendly way, says okay, presses a button, goes to peer reviewer says the same thing, makes comments, copy editor, proofreader, etc. In the end, goes through the whole process. There's only one XML file and no more. And at the end, publisher says, yeah, let's publish, and everything pops out fully automatically. That's the kind of system that we want. And the advantage is fast, low cost. You have perfect structured XML throughout. It's future-proof, accessible for blind, dyslexic, etc. There's a typeface called Open Dyslexic. Now, how many publishers have their content in this typeface? 0? Yeah? So dyslexics can't read scholarly content. Well, this system will allow you to press the button and get that typeface. Requirements we set ourselves for this system was it has to be fast. Users these days don't want to sit down. We're in the Facebook era. We don't want to sit down and wait for something. We want everything to be fast. Only the XML is saved in the system, plus, of course, the graphics, etc. But we don't want to keep lots of different versions. Everything comes from the XML. The PDF that's created from that XML should be fixed, and even 20 years from now, if you press a button, that XML should give you the same PDF with the same pagination. That's the version of record. It can be created on the fly as required by the reader, and we can customize it. Reader might want color or black and white. We could embed info like comments, peer review, etc. as the user wants. So imagine you want to download the PDF. The system says, what do you want? You want black and white, high res? Do you want author bio, metrics, etc.? This is just the mock-up. I hope PJ don't mind. But you can have metrics about the author, etc. in a button that pops up in the PDF, up to date when you requested it. So we have built something called RV Publisher, which has several modules. Authoring, RV Write. Review is a user-friendly peer review system. Copy editing, RV Edit. Proof check for author-proof correction. And RV Formatter, which is auto-conversion of that XML at the end to anything you want. RV Write version 1, it's being used for the last 6 years or so by a company called Schlager Group in Texas. They do large books, volumes of books with, say, 200 authors coming in simultaneously and writing. It's all copy edited, and it goes through quite a heavy copy editing process. And they were sending Word files back and forth. You can imagine how many permutations of emails they had. This just works now, and we don't even know what they're doing, but they're creating publications. What we do, if there's any structure in that document, for example, we have a form that they fill in. A bit like buying something from Amazon. Yeah? So you don't miss anything out. You don't have to read author instructions. You just click on whether it's drama, novel, what have you. You fill in all these things. The output you see, that's the output when you read it. But of course, when you input, it's like a form. Copy editor comes in, puts author queries, which are linked to the text, and the author just online, they reply. A word about XML. This is my good friend, John Gardner. He's blind. He has a company called ViewPlus. He is a physicist, he's an emeritus professor at the University of Oregon in Portland. And he was a physicist, he still is, and 25 years ago, he had a surgery which went wrong, and he went blind. He wanted to continue, once he got over there, wanted to continue his physics career, and of course he couldn't read anything. His wife had to read everything to him. So he started a company called ViewPlus to allow blind people to have access to math and to graphics. It's a multi-million-pound company, and so really accessibility is important. Everything we publish should be accessible to John Gardner. It is the litmus test. If your XML is accessible, that means it's good XML. You have to have 100% confidence in your XML. More confidence than PDF. If your PDF is not right, then maybe there's a filter in it. Right now it's the other way around. People think this is the PDF is the important thing. Actually, PDF is good. I like PDF. We can have everything, but you should have one, what I call, format of record. The format of record should be your XML. So we need to use an XML first workflow. There's a lot of crap out there, forgive me ladies and gentlemen, in XML. All you got to do is go to an open access publisher. Thank you, open access publishers who actually publish their XML. But the content, it parses and validates, but that's not enough. You've got to look at the content. So it's a bit like going to a museum, and they want to make sure they've got all these thousands of pictures. They build some sort of device to parse their assets, and the parser is only looking at the frame. If you think about it, it's a bit like the tags. It doesn't know what's in the frame. Yeah? So this would pass. Unfortunately, this would pass just as well. So the Mona Lisa would pass and the arse would pass. I'm sorry, forgive me. I had to inject some humor into my talk. I'm convinced I'm the only person in the universe who looks at XML. Actually look, because there's obvious things wrong in it. Right. Year, volume, first page 341, last page 354. That's correct. Probably 30% of publishers, they have first page 341, last page 54. Right? I'm not exaggerating. If you look at 2 or 3 publishers, one of them will have that. And of course, that's because that's the way they have it in print. Right? And if you find in print it says 341 to 354, then the XML and the PDF are exactly the same. The XML should be the first one. The print should be 341 to 354. It's not difficult, right? But no one is doing it, and no one's complaining apart from me. Mr. Big Mouth, Mr. Math. Both of those. This is an example from a well-known open access publisher, high profile. I won't tell you who they are, but they have a 4-letter acronym. Have I given it away? Now that looks a little bit odd. You look at the XML. Underline. Now, my friend John Gardner, if he has a reader, reads that. What does he read? 0.0, you get a computer voice, 0.06 plus 0.01. Not only is it a plus, but it really is a plus because it's underlined. That is published. It's, you know, it just goes, no one's looking at this shit. Oh, crap was okay, but that was I'm sorry. We'll move on. If we could just edit that bit. This is another thing I came across. The same publisher who will be completely nameless. I looked at this. You can see roughly what it is, TP-P4TFs, etc. But somehow it doesn't sort of, the eye goes a bit funny. They're all the same typeface. If you look at true positive predictions over there. I looked at the XML. Of course, it's MathML. Now we know MathML. No, MathML is verbose. Fine. But I thought it is a bit too verbose, this one. So I changed the coloring bit so I could read it. And you can make out equals true positive. So the way it's actually coded is, so if my friend John reads this, it says T times R times U times E times P. Right? Every letter is coded as thank you. Thank you, Mirko. You saved me again. So this is not the worst case. There are much the terrible things, but this is all XML. So we've got to really fix this. So the answer is true automated XML first, typesetting. PDF can be deleted at any point, and this is now what you're waiting for. A demo, ladies and gentlemen. I was feeling nervous, and I'm going to have a heart attack any second because I'm in the lion's den of all the geeks well, there's always a first time. Okay. So here we are. This is RB Publisher. I'm going to click on one of these. These are all, now, we have a couple of clients who are installing this. The system is modular and it is customized to the publisher. This, I got the guys to cobble together something that shows most of it for you. I click on one of these files. What we're looking at, can you see that all right? You're looking at a JATS file. I've logged in as Kaveh. What we present to begin with, what present the author is a JATS template for whatever they want to write for. So the author goes in, they want to write for Society of Physical Chemistry, and they say, yeah, I want to write a review, or a book review, or an article. That will have a template. For example, this is, I don't know, a review type of paper. It needs the author's details. It needs a picture of the authors, right? So you start with a form, if you like, and you fill in the form. So the important things have to be there. If this was a paper, there would be an abstract that they have to fill in. Okay? So this has been written already by an author, and suppose these are some figures, right? And these are references. They're colored according to, it's reading the JATS directly. I'm going to check this out. So suppose I could be you can have any combination here. You can have a copy editor, then a journal editor. You can have a hierarchical view, or you can have a sort of flat structure where people know, yeah, anyone can do whatever because they trust each other. If I check this out, okay. So now, before it was just an HTML page. Now I can, if I edit, I can edit this. So because we know the structure of this, we put a form because these are the elements that are needed in that particular area. So for example, I can say actually this is Jones. I can put a new photo. I can put some more text. Okay, and I save that. So that shows me a sort of a track changes there. Now the paragraphs, I can just double click and it brings me a toolbar. The system is, we really wanted it fast. It is fast, so as soon as I click here. Now let me make a change here. So for example, all the shortcuts work, so shortcut bold italic. If I'm a copy editor, I can put a note here, add a query. Are you sure this is right? And for math, we've got we've got tech math, Mr. Math. So a plus b equals, I don't know, square root of pi. There we go. And that's rendered as MathJax. I say save. So that's the query, which is linked to the query there. And these are the changes I made. There's a bug in here because I think I didn't put a space there. What it did is it deleted that and put which there. As I say, we cobbled this together for you guys. I can hide changes at any point and show changes. And at any point, I don't know if I want to do this, guys. We can view XML. Ooh and ah from the Mulberry ladies. Those were not all ladies. Okay. So, that is JATS. It's parsed. It is correct. I can also show you, the screen is a bit small here, so I'm changing it for you. The rich XML will show you, find, developed, yeah. So this is how we keep the changes. Now we've tried putting comments, processing instructions, etc. This is not standard JATS, so we've changed the DTD a bit so that this parses. We put them in spans, and then we put the class to see what so diff, italic, etc. That shows that change. So the rich XML is showing me that. When you wanted, the XML is all these stripped out. What else do we want to do? Okay, I can add a paragraph above, add a paragraph below. Remember, this is now for the copy editors who want to change things. I can go down here. These are references. Now, you see there are 9 references there. hope you can read that, because if I make it bigger, then these buttons go out the way, but that's all right. Okay. So we've got 9 references. Now, supposing reference 8, I don't want that, I can delete that reference. Are you sure? Yes. So it puts the line through it. Okay. And there. And reference 8 has been deleted. It knows which reference it is. So it knows where the tags are. And when the final thing, when you create the PDF, that will be correct. So 9 references there. And I can, if I want to modify this reference, it comes up with a form, so I get rid of one author here and update that. Let me just go through. Okay, I say I check it in. I finish with that, and I log out, and now you've got someone else, and someone else comes in. Which one was it? Was it 5 I was changing, or was it 7? I think it was 5. Should have remembered that. Nope. I don't think so, because we haven't finished editing. It's still being edited. These are all dummy files, and I forgot to. This is the one. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm a different user, and I go and check this out, and I will do a bit more work on it. So I go here and delete something there and say save. Hide changes, show changes. So I look at the revisions. So these are the revisions, right? So it tells you who did what. Okay. It keeps all the revisions of who did everything. Now, at any point, I want to view the PDF. So if I click the PDF, you should see in about 4 seconds, 3, 4, that's a PDF. That is generated in the server. The JATS is typeset through the tech engine. We retrain the tech engine to understand JATS. You can see it looks completely different. It is a good typography. The query is here. If I click that, that is linked. The authors have come at the bottom because that's the style. There are only 8 references here, so the one that was deleted isn't here. That's the idea. So I can make any other change here. I can delete, say, another reference, yes, and view the PDF. We should have 1 less reference. And it's ready at that point for publication because the JATS is ready and we got 7 references now. Okay. So that's the core of the system. When we've done copy editing, I can say I've finished copy editing, number 6. Okay. Now anyone can come in. I can go. This is now edited, right? Because we finished copy editing. This is now someone comes in, say journal editor, and just wants to make sure, checks this out, and wants to make sure that, and basically have to accept these changes. Now, if I click there, it says accept or reject, and it says who made the change. Okay, so I'll accept that. You can do it one by one. You can do it by paragraph. Okay, so I can go here and say accept changes, or I can have a look at it and say accept all. If I accept all, everything becomes blue, anything rejected is gray, and it's ready for publication. You approve for publication, that goes to wherever else you want. So basically that is an end-to-end system for publishers. And publisher can take one bit of it, maybe just the authoring part, the peer review part. We have people who are just using it for peer review. You might want it for copy editing, or you have XML, you say, we just want to send out the page. And it's true JATS-centered system. Thank you. Uh-oh, Mirko.
No,
Is there a back door here? Yes, sir.
Mirko Jans Informs. I mean, it, as other things that you presented in the past many, many years that we know each other, it's really impressive and a new step.
Thank you.
Just wanted to ask some details. Some publishers still insist the PDF be very perfect, and
Yes.
your parse skip is
Yes.
bigger than 0, and control of windows or so is turned off because it makes it easier. But how do you do such things
Yeah.
that
Okay.
need manual tweaking?
Thank you very much, because I left that out. When we paginate, it is true XML first. There is no final pagination in the PDF. There's no round tripping. Round tripping sounds too much like tripping, okay? I don't want to do round tripping. So what we do is, in tech, for example, if you wanted this, I don't know, if you wanted this little space above references, say, in tech you would say vskip 0.5 pica, something like that. That's the reference. So what we do is we put that as a comment within the XML. That is fed into tech and it paginates. So it's still true XML first. So what we do here is you'd right click and you'd get a menu like this. I haven't got it here. The menu will say, do not hyphenate this word. Okay? There's a link to that. The system knows where the XML is for that word. It'll put that parsing instruction within that, and then 4 seconds later, you'll see the PDF again. That's how we do it. So basically, you can use this for the finest control without seeing any tech at all. Even I can't see the tech because it's in the back end.
That sounds great, because it's easy to do for people that don't know all details. Just as in the old days, that what editors would just mark with the red pen, it's already done and finished. Actually, not only marked.
A lot of our clients still do that, but you know,
But what is a version of record in your case?
version of record. You know what that is.
No, I know it's XML, but what about these comments? Who did what in the past, and it's not JATS compliant before clean out?
Oh, say it again. Sorry, I didn't get it.
You have enhanced, in a sense, JATS with all these accepting those comments, then all these, however you coded it, and didn't see too well.
Yeah.
From here, all these changes happening.
Yeah, but
Do you clean out this?
yeah, that's in the rich XML. That's for our internal use,
Yeah.
or the use of the publisher who can see who did what. The changes, the version of record is the final XML without those
Okay,
changes.
the clean. Okay, thank you.
Wendell Pease Consulting Services. One thing I really like about the solution is that you have cut away the problem of accommodating various different profiles and usages and approaches to JATS, right? You have one variant of JATS, your variant, you have enhanced it internally, and you don't need to worry about mashing various different kinds of JATS into, accommodate and so forth, the different practices. That does raise the question, right? I mean, one reason why we why we promote something like the customizability of JATS is because we say, well, that allows different publishers to differentiate. Mm-hmm. You are clearly delivering a product which allows them to differentiate. How is that differentiation done, and how do you develop to that? How do you accommodate their requirements, develop functional requirements for them?
It's fully customizable. So we've got 2 clients installing this. Each one has a different version of JATS or different way of using JATS. You customize. There's a one-time filter. That filter that reads the XML is actually customized for that publisher.
That's on the way in or the way out, or both? I mean, you're producing the stuff for them.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we produce. So the author, when they save, that'll save the publisher's version.
Okay.
Yes.
Last question.
Sean Halloran, NIEHS. This is a beautiful system. I feel like the authoring component is what's going to be the hard sell, just because I think a lot of authors don't sit down and say, I'm going to write a paper for Journal X.
Yep.
They want to write a paper, and then whatever that topic happens to be on, they're going to find the best journal in the field and submit it there, and if that doesn't take the second best. And so understanding that limitation, how does that affect your end-to-end publishing system? Because then, a publisher wants to say, I want to take every piece of the system except the authoring portion, and I'm going to give you Word files. Are you converting up front there and using everything else throughout? I mean, what are some of the limitations in that case?
Okay. Again, good point there. I don't think yes, the authoring system would be a River Valley authoring system. They would come in, write, they would submit to, say, PRJ. If PRJ doesn't want it, they can submit to PLOS. We can create two different JATS. It's easy to go from one JATS to another once you've got it. So we can submit to anyone between those. So it's not as if it's, you don't want one authoring system locked to one publisher. That's quite right.
So are you thinking of maybe open sourcing the authoring system and saying anyone who wants to author in this can do so, and then if a publisher has signed on, you'll submit to them?
At the moment, no, we're not thinking of open sourcing it. They will write there. We would have an API or a plugin, whatever, to, say, the publisher. When they press the button, the publisher's DTD will be delivered to them, XML will be delivered to them.